Welcome to Real Estate IQ Wisdom for Smart Moves. We will explore the insider secrets tailored exclusively for Silicon Valley home buyers, sellers, and investors, arming you to conquer the unique real estate landscape. So, without further ado, let's dive into this exciting conversation. In today's episode, we welcome Jaya Kapal, the principal designer from Lotus Interiors. She is a versatile and perfectionist who finds beauty and purpose in every element, excelling notably in space planning, time management, and people management. Home staging facts. In the real estate world, presentation always matters. It's surprising, but many homeowners perceive staging as unnecessary. By side-aligning this essential step, they potentially leave a staggering 7 to 20% of their home's equity on the table. Homes that have been expertly staged often have a leg up in the market, selling up to 50% faster than their unstaged counterparts. And if you're thinking about budgeting for staging, here's a figure to keep in mind. The average investment to beautifully stage a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home is around $3,500. Investment in staging isn't just about aesthetics. It's about maximizing the value and appeal of your property. Think smart, stage smart. The following content is only for informational purposes. Please consult a licensed consultant for your specific situation or if you need any specific legal or tax advice.
Jaya, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Shannon.
So why did you choose real estate staging as your career?
Design is my passion. Forever that I have known. So, and also in one word, if I can sum it together, real estate staging is instant gratification, design-wise. So I get to see a place and I get to design it and it's done within 24 hours. Of course, the staging part. The behind the scenes is, when we see the place and come up with a concept, put things together, that takes good hours, good amount of 20 to 30 hours, depending on the size of the space. But yes, it's instant gratification. And I love design, to put things together, space planning, furniture planning, colors, textures.
And how did it all start?
It all started, I guess, like I said, right from my childhood, I was so much into it. And I could not pinpoint and say, this is called interior design. I'd always be doing things or, creating stuff. Actually, I would even make furniture with whatever little tools I had and stuff I had, redesigning stuff, remaking stuff, what we call recycling and upcycling. I would be doing that, but we didn't have all those words at that time. So when I had the opportunity, I went to the design school and got my certification in that. And so I was doing interior design. And so that's very client-based. And then I went into staging because here it was not just like in my classroom, doing a project on the paper. This was actually, I was executing it in real time.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Totally loved it. But Sharad, it's all like any startup. It's not that I had all this furniture at my disposal, accessories, decorative artwork, and large amounts of money to start my business, right? So I started in my garage.
I see.
So initially I acquired like few decorative accessories and couple of very key element classic pieces. So they're timeless, So yes, and I started from there. And then I went into renting a public storage. Then from there I rented like 5 public storages where my movers were complaining because we had to go from storage to storage in the same complex. And also the time restrictions, I could not go work anytime I wanted to. Or whenever I had time, right? So now I have a 5,000 square foot warehouse. So, which is convenient. And, I have my own furniture, accessories, bedding, etc., whatever is required for this. And one thing about my own design aesthetics, I would say, I like classic pieces. So trendy is okay. Trendy is the decorative items and some of the accessories and such. But the big pieces are all timeless and classic. So they go in any time. And I would say they appeal to most age groups
Mm.
because they're clean lines and classic.
Right.
And neutral colors. So when you say, yes, I think I just live and breathe design. So
So how does staging impact the sale of a property?
I would say, this being the media age and also because of COVID, many people were just doing online shopping, right? So the very first thing is the, internet, right? So first thing is in attractive pictures. And how would those pictures come of your property when it is staged very beautifully? Staged beautifully with the infusion of color, and a client looks at it, a buyer, prospective buyer will look at it and say, I like that. I like those images. Let me go see the place. And then they personally would drive up and come to the place. And then once they are there, they see that how warm and inviting it is, right? So they go there and they envision themselves in there. And then they envision them living in the house, entertaining and, raising their family or whatever, right? So they see themselves growing in there. And then the third thing would be, showing the vacant areas or some spots in the house which people usually won't know how to use it. We bring the utilitarian value to that. If it's a long corridor, we'll put a bench and, maybe make a little reading nook in a corner. So they can say, hey, yes, we can use it that way. It doesn't have to be just a walkway. And a room off of the bedroom, we can make it into a retreat, or study, or a baby room, so a young couple can say, yes, you know what, my child will be right close to me. You don't have to go to another room for to make a nursery. So we give several ideas that way. So, it brings value that way. So bring the people in right from when they see on the MLS listing. The second would be coming in there, being physically present in the place. And third would be, seeing all the little places that they can utilize, have value to that square footage, which nowadays I see in these big, huge homes. They make these big walkways and, some spaces which we think that what to do with it. But it's included in the square footage, right? So we bring value to that.
That's interesting. What are some common staging mistakes which sellers make?
So if you say the mistakes, it would be the very first thing is they think of it as an expense. They think, oh, so I have to do one more thing to put my house on the market. But it's like, if you have to upgrade the bathroom to sell the house, you're putting in the investment in there. Because if you put 10K in there, you will get definitely 15 to 18K, right? So you're getting more money for that. So similarly, when you present the house very nicely staged, it's an investment and you will reap more benefits. It'll be sold faster. It'll be sold for more higher price. So take that into consideration. So don't be scared that thinking, oh, it's an upfront expense. It's an investment. The second, of the several, I would say, the very important one would be they get very emotionally attached to the place. They'll say, oh, this bedroom was my child's and my child painted the room. So I think the purple looks very pretty. But no, you see who will be buying your place. You have lived here like, 10, 15 years. Now the newer generation, millennials, would be buying the place. So, and they would expect different things from the place. So update it. Update it to the current, paint colors, current flooring. So go with the trend. So just do that investment also. And just check out emotionally. You're already putting it in the market. So it's not your home anymore. Just condition yourself, right? And third would be, the important one would be, don't still keep living in the house as you do, because, we will have piles of laundry, we will have our cooking smells, our sink will be full of dishes, and then suddenly buyer walks in. We don't want that. So take it into consideration and live as if you're living in, somebody else's place, or be very cognizant, like about how you would want to see when you are buying and you want to go into a new place. How would you want to picture yourself? You want to see yourself in there. You don't want to smell any other kind of stuff that you're not familiar with. Or you don't want to see any things, thrown around the house or toys all over the place that you have to maneuver yourself carefully walking through, looking at the house. So just take all that into consideration. Because we like our children, we like our things thrown around, but no, when we are selling, keep it for the other people, keep it neutral. Again, I would say that word neutral. Keep it very plain and simple for people to navigate easily and emotionally connect with your house, thinking it's theirs from that moment on. So it's sold already to them.
Sure. And how do you decide the staging style for a property?
Totally depends. I look at a property, which area it's in, and then I take into account, is it, will it appeal to a single person, youngsters, or a family-oriented area? Are the people coming in here for schools? So what age group children would be in there?
Sure.
So taking all that into account, is it a multi-generational family?
Okay.
So where I should include all those items, so they feel that, oh yes, our parents can live here. 3 generations can live here. Oh, there is space for children also. And there's space for our elderly parents also, which, in Bay Area, we are going towards that, right?
Right.
So multi-generational families in a property. So, I take all that into account. And also the color trends for kids or, youngsters, teenagers, and the current trends in furniture, what's popular, and also seasonal.
Okay.
So that's very important too.
Okay.
To spruce up the things seasonally, very pastels for spring, bright colors for summer, inviting colors for fall.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And how do you take care of the curb appeal for a home?
If there's a porch or something, and also before we start the staging, we go see the house.
Okay.
And then we consult with the owners and then, agents. And yes, if the work needs to be done, we consult. And because I have a design background, so I go tell them to spruce up, trimming off the trees. Maybe they need some mulch or some river rock. Maybe just 2 planters with, fresh flowers. Just bring something that is blooming and then just put it there. So that brings a lot of curb appeal, instant curb appeal. And also, sometimes the fascia the color is coming off or the gutter is off a little bit.
Right.
We tend to live with those things because we're so busy in our life.
Right.
But, for selling, we will point out those little details also. Because sometimes we are entering the house and you see the gutter is off.
Right.
Yeah. Then you can immediately tell, oh, it's not well taken care.
Okay.
So we take all that into consideration also. So we'll do a consult before we start the staging. You see the place and...
So you do a consult with the sellers before staging the property?
Yes.
Is that important? To have a consultation with the sellers?
It is because we do occupy staging as well as vacant staging.
Okay.
And in occupy staging, it's all the more important to do the consultation because we go in, we see their space, then, like you said, right from the driveway, I start seeing things and make my notes. And we give them a list. Okay, these are the things to be, you need to pay attention to. And then as we go into the house, we tell them what furniture needs to be kept, taken out, their closets. We even get into the kitchen cabinets.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because, we have different kinds of cuisines, right? And we acquire all these kind of spices in... When a buyer opens a cupboard, you don't want to have a whiff of, strong cinnamon or something coming at you. So, yes.
Okay.
And in the neutralization of a house, I would say no smells in the house.
No smells in the house.
No smells in the house.
How does that impact the home sale?
It's just like, how we have come from the cigarette smoke, accepting the cigarette smoke from not accepting it.
Right.
It's similar. People can be totally put off by certain smells. Even the air fresheners. Some might not like vanilla.
Right.
Some might we averted to perfume smells. So it really affects, and the cooking, it gets into the drapes, it gets into the curtains, rugs. So it's very hard for it to be removed. So people walking into the house, then again, they will think about the previous people rather than envisioning them in the house.
I see.
See?
So the point here is for the buyers to envision them inside the home.
Exactly.
A typical problem homeowners have when wanting to buy a new home is whether to sell first or buy first. Either way is risky. When ready to look for a new home, TradeMyHome.com, powered by Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, offers an upfront guaranteed cash offer on your current home. Are you moving in the next 3 to 6 months? Text PAIR to 408-740-7400 for a free and no-obligation professional equity appraisal report. For more information, visit TradeMyHome.com or call 408-740-7400. Remember, at TradeMyHome.com, your home is sold guaranteed or we'll buy it.
Can you share a challenging staging project you handled?
There are several, but I'll tell you this particular one, which recently we did this. It's a house built in about 1960s, and I believe it was never remodeled after that. So if you really want to look at late 1950s, early 1960s wallpaper and all, you should go visit that place. And the owner was original owner, I guess, and didn't want to do any upgrades to that house. So we go in and I see this little entryway with the brown ceramic tiles. You walk in, then you have this walkway of the melamine, the linoleum actually corridors. Then in the living room there is a dark brown, chocolate brown carpet. Oh, and the brick fireplace, soot all over. And the kitchen had this avocado green wallpaper. It was a masterpiece, I would say. And so to bring that to this level, to put on the market, yes. And then there was kitchen, living room, and then off of that a family room. So and then from there you go into the garage, and the laundry was in the family room. That was, how do you screen that out and make that a living space as well? Yeah, that was a bit challenging. And also, as you walk into the bedrooms, a couple of bedrooms had, I don't even know what that wallpaper is. Velvety or some burnt out, like flocking design. They're like old. And it's not just one wallpaper. They have ripped it out. Wow. So there is another level of wallpaper. So there are 2-3 colors showing through. We had to work with that. And in the master bedroom, there was maybe an extension done or something, but the floors were never done. They were just raw slats on one side, a carpet in the center, then again a hardwood floor on one side. So we had to work with all that flooring. And also for some reason, the outside structure, some of the parts were inside. I cannot explain that, but some of the gables and things, I don't know if they were trying to do some architectural design in there. They were inside the house. And again, that bright chartreuse wallpaper with brown flocking on it, So it was quite interesting. But then, of course, we did our magic. And the agent was quite proud how it turned out. And we were quite proud that we worked with that brown carpet and we made it work. It looked nice, actually, in the end. It got sold very fast.
That's interesting.
I was thinking it will sit on the market, but it got sold very, very fast. Yeah. So I would say we worked with all those challenging stuff. In the bathroom, even the towel rods were the original ones, made of wood. Yeah. Not even those brackets or anything. The brackets were like handmade ones, I think. Oh, wow. It was interesting. It was a lesson in history of design. But yes,
So what is the process for staging a property?
very first thing is when we got contacted by the seller, um, I ask a few questions as to the size of the property, when they would like the staging, to see our availability, and also if they're going to be staying in the property or it'll be vacant, they'll move out. Then from there, we make an appointment, go meet them. And right from the start, I start seeing all the details, what they need to upgrade or any repair needs to be done. And in the meet and greet, we discuss all that. Also, then it comes into the time frame. If, they have lived in the house and they're going into retirement or something, and they've lived there for 20 years, and they have not touched anything for those past 20 years, we suggest, bring it up to times a bit. And because wear and tear happens, right? So, and also when they put the investment, they'll get the money back. And also appeal to the younger generation who would be coming into those homes. Obviously, if these people are retiring and moving out of these good school zones, that means younger people are moving in. So keeping their tastes and trends in mind, just upgrade the counters, upgrade little faucets, maybe just kitchen handles, the door handles that also make it sparkly. So those doing little changes, we suggest all those things. And also, if they're going to be living in the house, we would first tell them to emotionally detach themselves from things, pack away most of their items as if they're moving out completely the very next day. So once they have, once we discuss all this, and so it's their homework, we give it to them. And meanwhile, while I'm talking to all them about this, I'm already done my homework about the area, the demographics that will be coming there. So some analysis, I've done it. So then we go back after the date has been decided. I go back to my office. I put things together as to what the house will require, what kind of furniture and how much furniture, and send the quote to the seller, get everything approved. And on the day of the staging, we are there, in the morning, the first thing in the morning. And just before that, we make sure that a couple of days before, I'll call the sellers and make sure that all the repairs are done and professional cleaning has been done so we can go in. And the day off, we go in and we start our work about 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning. And usually we are done by 3 or 4 that day with the complete staging. And so if it is occupied staging, the sellers are going to come back. We ask them to take the pictures of the bedding and, the pillows, how they're placed, the kitchen items. So when they start using again in that evening, so they have the memory of how things were kept. So that the next day when the photographer comes in or, a buyer walks in, they place the things back the same way. So, but in a vacant house, of course, it'll stay the same, but that's what we suggest to them. And after that, we keep checking with them, to see if there is any feedback from any buyers or anything that, is coming in the way or something, or if everything is going okay. So we check with them. And so that would be the process. Usually the houses, in my experience, have been sold so fast. We rarely had to go back ever to do any changes. So, yeah, and it's just we get a call saying, hey, the house is sold, pick it up. Yes.
So you take care of staging both inside and outside?
Yes, when we say outside, it's the outdoor patio.
Okay.
Yeah, or pool furniture. Yes.
Okay.
No landscaping. We don't do landscaping, but then yes.
How does real estate staging is changing based on the current market trends?
More and more, since I started doing staging, I see that almost everybody does staging. Hardly any homes are vacant, on the market for sale, which are vacant, because it shows well. It has that appeal. People can see themselves in there. And, we are becoming more trendier also. It was not like, just put a sofa and 2 chairs and that's a living room. No, we have gone way beyond that. we actually kind of create a dream for the people, you
I
can
see.
say, oh, come, it's like marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's gone since the staging has started about 20 years ago, I would say, it was there, but then it caught up in the last 10 years a lot. So we kind of sell a dream, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come into this place and you'll be so happy.
Right. So you're an extra marketing help.
Yes.
And does that help sellers get more money on the sale of their home?
Definitely.
How does that work?
I mean, it's like you just put an apple out there and then you put an apple with some honey on it and you slice it very beautifully. You present it with some walnuts around it. Who will a person choose? I mean, a person will choose just a raw apple or the beautifully presented one.
Right. So it's presentation.
Right. And how convenient is it to eat the whole apple or just pick up a slice and eat it?
Right.
So it's, it's so convenient when you see the house all done up.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just visualize yourself in there.
Right.
And then when you go in and remember, we do all the background work also. I mean, everything is ticked off the list. All the detail work is done. All the repairs are done. So all the buyer has to do is just walk in and start living.
Right.
And once all the furniture is staged beautifully too, so they can visualize and they can bring in their own furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes they ask the stagers also if we could sell our furniture to them.
Right.
And we do have quality furniture.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, we have come a long way also. So sometimes we sell our furniture to them. Mm-hmm. So then they just have to move in.
Right.
Right? So yes.
So apart from making more money for the sellers, in what other ways do professional staging help them? So money is one thing.
Yes.
They end up making more money.
Mm-hmm.
What are the other ways in which staging helps property sellers?
Most of them fall in love with their properties.
Yeah?
I've gotten many a times this compliment, I would say, oh, we would like to buy it back.
Uh-huh.
If only we didn't buy the other house, we would want to come back in here. Yes. So, and I think they take those ideas into their newer homes.
Okay.
Yeah, so wherever they're going. So that helps them that way.
And it also helps them sell the property faster.
Oh, yes. That was your question. Yes. You know what? Yes, I have done some research. I'm a member of RESA, that is Real Estate Stagers Association. And then we do have figures, yes. Mm-hmm. If a vacant house sits on the market for like maybe 6 weeks or so, a staged home gets sold in like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So that time difference, and then the Real Estate Association, they have some numbers also about so stage homes generally are faster, and they also get more money.
Right.
Yes, for the buyers.
Okay.
For the sellers, I mean, that was your question.
Right. So how do you balance cost and impact in staging?
Cost and impact, it depends on where the property is located and the clientele it's going to attract. So, for example, in a modest neighborhood, one 1,800 square foot house in a modest neighborhood and one in an upscale neighborhood. So, once we look at the property, then we decide what kind of furniture would both the places take, right? So, in a modest neighborhood, we would try to keep it, mid-income and people coming in, okay, the little kids, family-oriented. 1,800 square foot will be like, 3-bedroom, 2-bath,
Sure.
family living room and etc. So, design it that way. So, when they come in, they feel comfortable. It's warm and inviting for them. And, they're starting out from there, right? So, the point would be to keep the cost low for that seller also, and then stage it accordingly. Whereas in the upper upscale neighborhood, we would want to put a little different kind of furniture, and also just seeing the background of people would be coming in and the projection in life that they will have to go from there. So do it accordingly. So, I mean, in my experience, I've seen. I don't want to be so biased though, but yeah, and we would not put very upscale furniture in a modest home.
Sure.
Because just looking at the items, they might just say it's not for me.
Right.
Yeah, and then might lose the whole point.
Right.
But then will not put very generic stuff in an upscale neighborhood too, because some people might not even realize it. But then that place, some of the properties don't call for it. The enhancement is different for those places anyway. But it's the same 1,800 square feet, but where they're located and who they're attracting. And also their price point also.
Right.
Right? So this might be 500K, this might be 1.5. That's what we have to see.
So what should sellers look for in a staging service?
So in the initial meet and greet, they will meet the stager and they will see that they're on the same plane, same ideas and everything. And also, one important point is they should see that the design background of the stager. So they're not just, going to bring in, if you have your living room in a certain setting, they're just going to place, most of the rooms do require the same setting, but then they're going a level beyond from what you had envisioned for your place. Sometimes, they will say, oh, I not thought about that. Living in the house for 10 years, right? So it's a different perspective and how refreshing their ideas are, So that would be the unique thing that they would be bringing in. They have to look for that and how current they are with the trends, right? So they're not just going, yes, we will do this, and not a yes, ma'am person, but then say, go challenge the seller also. Move that big piece of furniture from there.
Right.
But they might say, oh, but you know what? I like it over there. I think that fits that per place. But then, no, you have to educate the client that, no, it's blocking the circulation. You cannot place it that way. Because living in a property, in a place is different than showing it to the clients.
Right.
Because when you float a sofa right in the center of the room, which is facing the TV, which is very convenient when you're living in the house. But when the patio door is right next to the TV and you have put it on the market, the buyer comes in and they have to navigate, do I go from right side of the sofa or the left side of the sofa? They should not be thinking like that. They should just clearly, smoothly breeze through the place and not even know that it's done so beautifully. A good design never calls out for itself. A person just feels very comfortable in it. They should just move freely and then just feel at home. And so, the stager should go beyond from what was already in there and look into all these circulation issues and all. So that's what I would say the sellers should look into that as to what fresh perspective they're bringing into the place. And their previous work, sometimes, as to if their things are current or not.
It's time for our trivia question to win prizes. This section is hosted by our AI host, Kay.
Hi, this is Kay from TradeMyHome.com, powered by Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Your home sold guaranteed, or we'll buy it. Here is our real estate trivia question. Which country has a tradition of painting your front door red when you've paid off your mortgage? And your options are China, Scotland, or Canada. Winners will get a $25 Amazon gift card and recognition in our next episode. Submit your entry on our website trademyhome.com/REIQ or by scanning the QR code on your screen. Only the top 3 correct answers will win.
Thank you for listening to the podcast and acknowledging the wisdom of smart moves in real estate in Silicon Valley. Please share this episode with a friend, subscribe, and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts at Real Estate IQ. Thank you to our sponsor, TradeMyHome.com, for their client commitment and for making this podcast possible. If you're considering buying or selling a home, visit TradeMyHome.com. Until next time, remember to stay ahead in the real estate game.